Hello there and welcome to a brand new lesson. This is How Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. In this lesson, we're actually solving questions on algebra, and specifically patterns in relation. Here are the learning objectives. As I always say, this is just solving of questions, and I'll try my best as much as possible to explain some of these concepts we'll be using as well. Now you note that the questions would come in increasing difficulty. So pay attention, take your books or pen or notepads, and then also work with us. As usual, you can always go check on the home page, and then you'll get the detailed sessions on these topics. So without much ado, let's quickly look into it. So for question number 1, we have, in the context of number line, that is the Cartesian plane, what is the name of the horizontal axis? The horizontal axis. Now you should note that on our Cartesian plane we have two axes. The first one is the vertical one, then the second is also what? The horizontal one. So the question is asking that what is the name we give to this? That is the horizontal one. The horizontal one is simply the x-axis, and we call the vertical one the y-axis. So obviously, our answer is what? C. Let's look at question number 2. So our second question says, what is an algebraic expression? We all know that for algebraic expressions, at least you have a number, you have a variable, you have an operator, and then sometimes a constant. You see, this is an example of algebraic expression. So let's look at our options we have here. There's a list of numbers in specific order, that is no. Then a mathematical phrase containing numbers, variables, and then operators. Then C says only a single letter representing a number, no. Then a mathematical statement that always has an equal sign, that is an equation. Hence our answer is what? B. A mathematical phrase containing numbers, variables, and operators. Our question number 3. As I said, it will be in increasing order of difficulty. So these are just the basic ones we need to know. If a pattern follows the rule add 3 to previous term, and then the first term is 5, what is the second term? So it says our first term is 5. And then the rule is just saying we should add 3. So it simply means you should keep adding 3. Hence you have plus 3, and plus 3 will then give us what? 8. So our first term is 5, our next term will be 8. Then we can add another 3 again in that order to form the pattern. This is just asking for the second term, hence our second term is 8. I do hope you got that. Question number 4. Which of the following is a variable in the expression 4k plus 3? We know for an algebraic expression, so that is for the 4k plus your 7, we call the 7 the constant, we call the 4 the coefficient, and then our k becomes the variable because its value can change at any time. Hence in this case, k is our variable, as simple as that. Question number 4. It says, identify the constant term in the expression. So I've just spoken about it. So we have 12x minus 9. Our 12 is the coefficient, x is the variable, and then our 9 becomes our constant. So in this case, it is a negative 9. Hence we have what? Negative 9. Question number 6. In a matchstick pattern, where the first pattern uses 4 sticks and the second pattern using what? 7 sticks, what is the constant difference? So it says the first pattern uses what? 4. So 4, and the next pattern is going to use 7. If we want constant difference, all we do is we subtract the previous one from the preceding one. See, so we just keep subtracting. Hence, if we want our constant difference to be this minus this, that is how many are we adding to this to give us this, and that is just the 3. Hence, our answer is what? D. Question number 7. We have to simplify. It says you have to simplify by grouping like terms. So we have m plus m plus m, then plus m. You see, he said if we want to add algebraic, or if we want to add algebraic expressions, what we do? We just add the coefficient. So we know there is 1 here, and since they are all m's, we just evaluate it as 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and they are all what? M's. So if we add all this together, what do we get? We get a 4m. As simple as that. So our answer is A. Question number 8. It says, what is the rule for this sequence? What is happening? We have 2, 4, 6, and then 8. Now, if you would want to continue, you realize that we just keep adding 2 to the previous term. We keep adding 2 to the previous term. 2 was added to 2 to give us 4. 2 was added to 4 to give us 6, and then in that order, you see. So we just keep adding 2 to previous term. And that is our C over here. Add 2 to the previous term. Question number 9. It says, translate the phrase 8 times the sum of C and then 7 into algebraic expressions. So it says 8 times the sum of C and then 7. Sum of C and 7 simply means C plus 7. This here is the sum of C and then 7. And this can be written as 8 into bracket C plus 7. You see, so looking at our options we have here, we have C plus 56. No. C plus C, 8 plus C plus 7. That is also false. But then our answer is D, which is 8 into bracket C plus 7. Question number 10. It says, if x is equal to 5, then what is the value of 3x minus 2? In this case, we are actually substituting. So anywhere we see our x, let's put the value 5. We have 3 into bracket 5, then minus 2. 3 times 5 gives us a 15. So we have 15 minus 2. And 15 minus 2 on the other hand gives us what? A 13. So our answer is B. Question number 11. It says we have to expand the expression 6 into bracket x plus 3. This wants us to apply our distributive property. So 6 times x and then 6 times 3. 6 times x gives us a 6x. And 6 times 3 on the other hand gives us an 18. So we have 6x plus 18, which is the C. Question number 12. Number 12 says, so number 12 says you have to simplify the expression 3a then plus 5b minus an a and then plus a 2b. And before we can simplify these, we need them as what? Like terms. We need to group them. Hence, grouping all that contains a, we have 3a minus a, and then we have a positive 5b, then plus a 2b. 3a minus a then gives us what? 3 minus 1, which is a 2a. Then 5b plus 2b on the other hand gives us a positive 7 what? B. So this becomes our answer, 2a plus 7b. And from the options here, that is option D. Question number 13. It says we have to find the next term in the sequence. So the sequence is 1, 4, 9, and then 16. Now, if you look at this sequence we have here, and then you know your multiples, you wouldn't have to solve anything because you realize that they are just perfect squares. This one here is actually a 1 times 1. This 2 is actually a 2 times 2. The 9 is also what? A 3 times 3. 16 is a 4 times 4. Hence, if we want to proceed, we are going to use what? A 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 gives us what? A 25. So that is A. Question number 16. It says, what point is represented by moving 3 units to the right and then 2 units down from the origin? So with this, we are now going to the Cartesian plane. It says 3 units right. We know when we are writing coordinates, coordinates are written as x, comma, y. You see, and x simply has to do with you moving on the horizontal axis. Then the y has to do with you moving on the vertical axis. Hence, if we have x, comma, y, and then we are moving 3 units to the right simply means positive. So we have our 3, then comma, 2 units down. Down means negative. So negative 2. So this is the coordinates they are talking about, 3 minus 2. And 3 minus 2 is simply what? B. Question number 15. It says we have to simplify 6x minus 2. So for 6x over 2, when it comes to simplifying fractions of algebra, we work on the coefficients. So for multiplication and then division, even when they are not like terms, we can still operate on them. Hence, we have 6 over 2x. And we know 2 divides itself once, then divides 6 3 times. Hence, our answer is going to be what? 3x. As simple as that. That is A. Question number 16. We have to expand and simplify. So we have 3 into bracket and x plus 4, then minus 2 into bracket and x minus 5. This is where we apply the distributive property. The distributive property simply says if you have a term in front of a bracket, the term should multiply everything you have in the bracket. So in this case, we have 3 times x. 3 times x simply gives us a 3x. Then we have 3 times 4. 3 times 4 also gives us a positive 12. Then we have a negative 2 times x. Negative 2 times x gives us a negative 2x. And then negative 2 also times a negative 5. Negative times negative gives us a positive. We have positive, and then 2 times 5 gives us what? 10. So with this, we group like terms and simplify. Grouping like terms, we have 3x minus 2x. You take note, when you are moving, you move with the signs in front of whatever term you are moving. So we have 3x minus 2, which gives us an x. Then a 12 plus 10 on the other hand, which would give us a 22. So our answer is an x plus 22, which is B. Very simple. Question number 17. It says in the relation that is y equals 2x plus 5. Our y is equal to 2x plus 5. What is the value of y when x is 0? So all they are saying is substitute x for 0. So that is x is equal to 0. So substituting, we have y being equal to 2. Then we bring into bracket. Instead of x, we put what? 0 over there. Then plus 5. Simplifying further, we have 2 times 0, which gives us a 0, then plus 5. We have our y being equal to what? 5. And that is what? C. Question number 18. It says that to simplify the product, so we have A plus 2, then into another bracket, a plus 3. So opening the bracket, we have our a into bracket and a plus 3. Then the positive 2 also multiplying this whole thing. Hence, we have a multiplying a multiplying 3, and then in that order. Applying the distributive property again, we have a times a, which gives us an a squared. Then a times 3, which gives us a positive 3a. Then a times 2, which should also give us a 2a. Then 2 times 3, which gives us a positive 6. So simplifying, we have our a squared, then 3a plus 2a gives us a positive 5a, and then plus our 6, which is what? A. As simple as that. Question number 19. 19 says, if we have 2x plus 3 all squared, what is its result? All squared simply means the whole bracket is multiplying itself again. That is to say, 2x plus 3 is multiplying 2x plus 3 again. So with that, this first term multiplies this whole bracket. This second term also multiplies this whole bracket. So that for the first one, we have 2x into bracket at 2x plus 3. And for the second one, we have a positive 3. Always take note. You need to write it with the sign in front of it. So with this, we now open our bracket. 2x multiplies 2x, and then in that order, just as we have done. So 2x times 2x gives us a 4x squared. 2x times 3 gives us a 6x. And then 3 times 2x gives us a 6x. And 3 times 3 gives us a 9. So simplifying further, we have 4x squared, then plus a 12x and plus a 9. And that simply is what? Our b over here. Very simple, right? Question number 20. We have to simplify. They said simplify e plus f minus j, then minus into bracket e minus f, and then plus j. To work on this, we need to open our bracket. To open this first bracket, we have 1 here, and 1 multiplies all of this to give us the same thing. Hence 1 times e gives us an e, times f gives us an f, then times negative j gives us a negative j. Then in this case here, we have negative 1. You see, we know if it is 1, we don't write. So negative 1 times e gives us a negative e. Negative 1 times negative f. Negative times negative gives us a positive. We have a positive f, then negative times positive gives us a negative with our j. Then we group like terms. So we have an e plus e minus e, then f plus f, then negative j minus j. Simplifying further, we have this e giving us 0. Then f plus f gives us a 2f. And then negative j minus j, on the other hand, gives us a negative 2j. This is our answer. If you wanted to factorize, you can rewrite it as 2 into bracket and f minus j. But looking at our answer we have, we just settle on this without it being factorized. Question number 2. As usual, we would end here and then rest for 1 minute, after which we then continue from question number 21. If you're able to rest, welcome back. Let's continue from question number 21. Question number 21 says we have 5 over 6r minus 3 over 4r. So how do we simplify this algebraic fraction? There is 6 and then 4. What is the LCM of 6 and 4? That is a 12. If we have our 12, then we ask ourselves, how many times does, no, before we even go there, they both have an R. There's R common to them. So our LCM is rather going to be 12R. Hence, since 6R divides 12R, that is 12R over what? 6R. To give us what? 6 into 12 twice. And this R cancels this R. So it gives us twice. The 2 comes to multiply the 5. And we have minus 12R divided by 4R. That is 12R divided by 4R. 4 divides 12 to give us 3. And then this R also cancels this R. Hence we have a 3 times 3. Simplifying further, we have 2 times 5, which gives us a 10. And minus 3 times 3, which gives us a 9. Then all over 12R. Simplifying further, we are going to get what? 10 minus 9, which is a 1. So 1 over 12R. And that is simply the D over here. Question number 22. Now 22 says, evaluate x plus y all over z if x is 2 and then y is what? Negative 2, and then z on the other hand is 3. So we want to actually substitute. This is the question on substitution. Anywhere we see x, we have to put 2. So we have x, and we put our 2 over there, then plus y. So the y becomes a negative 2 all over z, which is also a 3. Hence, in this case, we have 2 plus negative 2. That is a 2 minus 2 over 3. 2 minus 2 gives us a 0. So we have 0 over 3. Now 0 over any number remains what? 0. So that becomes our answer. Question number 23. It says 3ab all over 15 c squared b squared times a 10d over 9a squared. So with this type of question, we can simplify. Now our simplification is done by simply cancelling. You know, when we want to multiply fractions, we do what? We cancel out either vertically or diagonally. So with that, let's first work on the numbers. 3 divides itself once, and it divides 9 3 times. 5 divides 10 twice, and it divides 15 thrice. With that, we are done with the numbers. Let's come to the variables. A will reduce this A by 1. And then this D would also come and then reduce this D also by 1. And for the B, there is nothing for it to simplify. Hence, let's check what we have left from this fraction. For this particular fraction, we are left with our B over then a 3c squared and then a d to the power 1 because it has been reduced by 1 times, for the numerator here we have a 2 over, the numerator here gives us just a 3 and then an a. So now that there is nothing else to simplify, what do? We multiply. So we have 2 times b, which gives us a 2b. Then we have all over 3 times 3 gives us a 9. Then we have a c squared d. Very simple, right? And that is our d. You see, So we choose to cancel out everything before multiplying. Question number 24. 24 says, what is the expansion of, so we have 3x minus 2y. Then in the other bracket, we have 3x plus 2y. So we have our first term multiplying this whole bracket, and then this second term also multiplying this whole bracket. So we have 3x into bracket, 3x plus 2y, then negative 2y into bracket, 3x plus 2y. So 3x multiplies this and then also multiplies this as well. And negative 2y also does the same here. So 3x times 3x gives us a 9x squared. Then 3x times positive 2y. So we have 3 times 2, which gives us a 6. Then x times y, which gives us an xy. So we have negative 2 times 3, which also gives us a negative 6. Then x times y, which gives us an xy. Negative 2 times 2 will give us a negative 4 with our y squared attached to it. So with this, you realize that these ones are the same but with opposite polarity. Hence, they will cancel out. So with that, we have our 9x squared, then this giving us 0, minus a 4y squared. And that is our simple answer. If you really understand difference of two squares, if you see these questions, you don't even need to solve. You can quickly work that out and then you'll be good to go. Question number 25. Number 25 says we have a over 3 minus a minus b over 2. So with this, we know the LCM of 3 and then 2 is what? A 6. So we put down our 6. Then 3 divides 6 twice. We have 2 multiplying the numerator, which is a. Then minus 2 on the other hand divides 6 to give us 3. So the 3 also multiplies the numerator we have there. So that we have our 2a. Then opening this, we have negative 3 times a. This gives us a negative 3a. Then negative 3 times negative b, which would also give us a positive 3b. Then all over 6. 2a and then 3a are like terms. So we have 2a minus 3b, which gives us a negative a. So we have our negative a, then plus 3b all over 6. Looking at our options we have there, there's a negative a, but then a negative 3b. That is not what we have here. So it can be rewritten as this. So we have a 3b minus a all over 6. And that is what? D. So that is 25. Question number 26. 26 says we have to simplify a negative 5x into brackets 3x plus 4, bracket close, then plus a 15x squared. So the first thing we need to do is to what? Open our bracket. So we have negative 5x, we let that multiply the 3x. The negative 5x also multiplies the 4. So negative 5x times 3x gives us a negative 15x squared, because the 5 times 3 gives us the 15. X times x on the other hand also gives us what? The x squared. The negative 5 times 4 gives us a negative 20, not forgetting our x. So we put our x there. Then plus 15x squared. And what do you notice? That this is the same as this. So if we are to group like terms, we have a negative 20x minus 15x squared plus 15x squared. Negative 20 remains x. Then this gives us what? Plus 0. So this is our answer. Negative 20x. Question number 27. 27 says 2x plus y. Then we have 2x minus y, then plus y squared. So we'll first have to open our bracket we have here. So that we have 2x, opening the bracket of 2x minus y. Then we have our positive y also doing same forward, this same bracket. So with that, we have 2x times 2x, which gives us a 4x squared. Then 2x times negative y will give us a negative 2xy. Y times 2x gives us a positive 2xy. Then we have y times negative y, which gives us a negative y squared, and then our positive y squared. So with that, we have a 4x squared. Now these two here cancel out each other because the negative 2x plus 2xy, right? Negative 2xy plus 2xy. So we are just left with what? This negative y squared plus y squared. In fact, that also cancels each other. So this is the lone man standing, which is a 4x squared. Question number 28. It says 8 minus into bracket 4 minus d, then minus 6 minus d. We need to open our bracket first. So we have our 8, then the negative times 4 gives us a negative 4. Negative times negative d gives us a positive d. The negative 1 times 6 gives us a negative 6. A negative 1 times negative d would also give us a positive d. With that, group like terms. We have 8 minus 4 minus 6 plus d plus d. 8 minus 4 gives us a 4. 4 minus 6 gives us a negative 2. We have a negative 2, then plus 2d as our answer, which can also be written as what? A 2d minus 2. Any of this is correct. And that is our C we have over here. Question number 29. 29 says we have 6x squared then plus 2xy all over a 5z. And it says x equals 2, and then our y is equal to negative 2. Then our z is also what? 3. So we take time to do our simplification. We have 6, and our x is actually 2. Into bracket 2 with a square on it. Then plus 2 into bracket our x, which is 2. Then our y, which is a negative 2. And this is all over 5 into bracket z, which is what? 3. So simplifying, we have our 6, then 2 squared. 2 squared is simply a 4. So 6 into bracket 4, then 2 times 2 gives us a 4. 4 times negative 2 gives us a negative 8. All over 5 times 3, which also gives us a 15. 6 times 4, on the other hand, gives us a 24. We have 24 minus 8 all over 15. 24 minus 8 gives us a 16. We have 16 over 15. Written as a one whole number, 1 over 15. Amy is correct. So per our answers, we have 16 over 15 is okay. So that is C. Question number 29. 29 says 2x over 6 plus 2x over 2x minus 3y over 3 minus x plus y, then all over what? 2. So with this type of question, we first of all do what? So with this being an expression, what we do is we look for the LCM. You don't multiply everything by the LCM, but rather you work it as a fraction. You would rather multiply everything by the LCM if it was an equation, but this is not. Hence our LCM is what? 6. So with our LCM being 6, what do? We now work it as a fraction. So 6 divides 6 once. That 1 multiplies this 2x. Give us a 2x. So we have our 2x. Then 3 divides 6 twice. The 2 we have also multiplies what we have over here. So plus 2 into bracket 2x minus 3y. The same way, these 2 divides the 6 to give us 3. And the 3 would have to multiply all of this one. So we have our minus, and the 3 multiplying x plus y. So with that, let's open the bracket we have in the numerator. So that we have our 2x, then 2 multiplying 2x, and then it also multiplies the negative 3y to give us a positive 4x. And then 2 multiplies negative 3y to give us a negative 6y. This also applies. So negative 3 times x gives us a negative 3x. The negative 3 times y gives us a negative 3y. Not forgetting, it is all over 6. So all over what? 6. Now we group like terms, the x's and the y's. So we have our 2x 4y minus vx. Remember, we move everything with a sign with it. So minus 6y minus 3y, then it's all over what? 6. All over 6. So 2 plus 4 gives us a 6. Then the 6 minus 3 gives us a 3x. The negative 6 minus 3, on the other hand, gives us a negative 9. So we have negative 9y all over 6. So since these are not like terms, we leave it as our final answer. And that is 3x minus 9y all over 6. That is our C over here. So that was question number 30. We'll end here, take a rest for 1 minute, then you come so that we proceed. Okay, so welcome back if you took that rest. Let's proceed with question number 31. Number 31 says we have 1 over x minus 1 and then plus a 2 over x plus 1. We want our LCM. So most of the times, if we have denominators being algebraic expressions, we multiply both of them to serve as our LCM. Since our LCM is x minus 1 in one bracket, and in the other bracket, x plus 1. So with that, we now do our division and multiplication. X minus 1 would cancel all of this to remain this. You see, it is this that comes to multiply our 1. So that we have 1 into bracket x plus 1. Then plus x plus 1 as well would divide itself and will be left with what? X minus 1. And that x minus 1 multiplies this we have here. So we have 2 into bracket x minus 1. So with that, we have 1 times x, which gives us an x. 1 times 1, which gives us a 1. 2 times x, giving us a 2x. And 2 times negative 1 gives us a negative 2. And we are saying it is all over what? Our denominator, which is x minus 1, and then x plus 1. Grouping like terms in the numerator, we have x plus 2x plus 1, then minus 2, which then gives us what? All over x minus 1, then x plus 1. So this results to what? X plus 2x, which is a 3x, then 1 minus 2, which is a negative 1, all over our denominator, which is x minus 1, and then x plus 1. And that is what? C. Question number 32. 32 says x minus 2, x minus 5 all squared. So for this, I'll show you a very quick way we can work this without necessarily expanding. So if you want to expand this, rather than writing x minus 5 into bracket x minus 5, a very quick way of doing this is x squared. So you take the first term and square it so that it becomes an x squared. Then you take the square you have here, multiply it by this term, and also multiply it by this term. I mean, you have your 2 times x, then times your negative 5. Then we say plus. This next term is also squared. So that is a negative 5 squared. Simplifying, we have our x squared, then we have a negative 10x. The negative 5 squared gives us a positive 25. This is a very short way of doing it. You can try the usual method and then see if you get the same answer. So with that, our answer is what? D. Question number 33. We have 12x squared y cubed, then all over a 4x cubed y, and it is being divided by a 3y over x. So we know anytime we are dividing fractions, what do? Using the KCF method, we keep the first one, change the sign, and then flip the second one. So we maintain our 12x squared y cubed all over 4x cubed y. Then instead of division, we change it to what? Multiplication. Then we flip this around so that it becomes x over 3y. So it is with this that we now solve our question. So we have what? X, this x. So let's first deal with the numbers, that'll be fine. So 4 divides itself once, and then it divides 12 thrice. This 3 also divides this 3, give us just once. Now this x squared reduces this by 2. And also this x reduces this also by 1. So that in essence, it is 3 minus 2 minus 1. So everything just moves away. This y also reduces this by 1. And then this y also reduces this by 1. So let's look at what we have left. For the right hand side, or for the first thing, the numerator has actually just a y to the power 1, because you have 3 minus 1 minus 1 all over. For this side, everything is gone, so it's just 1. Then we have times, the numerator here is also left with 1, and what we have here is also 1. Y times 1 gives us a y, and that is just it. So our answer is B. Question number 34. 34 says we have 3 into bracket 2a minus b. And we have to evaluate it if our a is equal to -1 and our b is equal to a -5. We have our 3 into bracket 2 times a, and our a is actually -1. So times the -1 minus the b. The b is a -5, so -5. With that, we have our 3. Then simplifying this, we have 2 times -1, which gives us a -2. The negative times negative also gives us a positive what? 5. So with that, we have our 3 into bracket -2 plus 5, which is a 3. So 3 times 3 gives us a 9, and that becomes B. Question number 25. We have to simplify. We have to simplify the expression we see, which says 2 into bracket and x plus 3, then into bracket x minus 1. The order you do this, well, you can multiply 2 by the first bracket, giving you another bracket, after which you multiply by this other bracket. Or you can multiply these 2 brackets and then multiply everything by 2. But I would want us to start from the left hand side. Hence, let's multiply 2 by x and then 2 by 3. 2 by x gives us a 2x, and 2 by 3 gives us a positive 6. So we keep that in one bracket, and then multiply it by this other bracket. In this case, we have 2x multiplying this whole bracket and 6 also multiplying this whole bracket. So we have our 2x into bracket x minus 1, which gives us what? Plus 6 also into bracket x minus 1. So with that, we have our 2x times x, which gives us a 2x squared, and 2x times -1, which is a -2x. Then 6 times x gives us a 6x, and 6 times -1 giving us a -6. So we have simplifying, we have 2x squared, then -2 plus 6, which then gives us a positive 4x, then minus 6. So that is our C. Now question number 36. We are back to the matchsticks. It says if a matchsticks pattern uses 3n plus 1 sticks for the nth pattern, how many sticks are there in the 10th pattern? What this simply means is n is equal to 10, because it said n refers to what? The nth pattern. That is the number of patterns we are talking about. Hence, substituting our 10, we have 3 into brackets 10, then plus 1. 3 times 10 gives us a 30, so we have 30 plus 1, which will then give us a 31. Question number 37. We have x squared minus y squared all over x plus y. So with this, what we have here is the numerator is simply difference of 2 squares. So difference of 2 squares is expressed as x minus y and then x plus y. You see, And we said we have all over the x plus y. So x plus y. Now we can always cancel when they are products. So this denominator is actually multiplying 1. And hence we can cancel this whole bracket by this whole bracket. And we'll be left with x minus 1 all over 1. And that is our d we have over here. Question number 38. It says you have to factorize the expression 5ax plus 10ay. Let's focus on the numbers. So we have 5 and then 10. We bring our 5 out. The order of the variables, they all have a in common. So we have a, then into bracket 5a times what gives us 5ax. That is 5a cancels out 5a to give us what? A. If you are not able to get the x, you can use this analogy. Just divide. Now in this case too, 5a times what gives us 10ax. So this 5 cancels out this 10. This a cancels to give us 2. Then this a cancels out this a and we'll be left with what? 2y. So with that, we'll be having a positive 2y. And that will be our factorization because there's nothing else to do. So that is 5a into bracket x plus 2y, which is what? A. Question number 39. It says a rectangle has a length. So since they are talking of a rectangle, we can form our own rectangle here. And then we are being told that it has a length of 2x plus 1. So we have 2x plus 1 here, and then a width of x. What is the expression for its area? We know the area of a rectangle is giving us the length times the width. And in this case, we know our length being what? The 2x plus 1. And our width also being what? X. So substituting, we have our area being equal to the length, which is x, which is x into bracket 2x plus 1. Since multiplication is commutative, even if you solve it as 2x plus 1 or times x, you still get the same answer. So x times x gives us 2x squared. Then x times 1 gives us what? Positive x, which is what? Our C. So that is 2x squared plus x. Question number 40. It says, what is the rule for the set of points? So you observe the points and then tell us what is happening. 1 changes to become 3. 2 changes to become 5. And 3 also changes to become 7. Now, if this was objective, one sure way to do it is by testing all we have over here. You see? But to solve this as in section B, we need to observe whether it's a linear function or not. There is 2 and then there is 5. There is 3. There's 5 and then 7. Realize that there's a constant difference of 2. Since there's a constant difference of 2, it simply means it follows y equals mx plus what? C. The m here is the constant difference we have identified, and that is 2. It simply means we have y equals 2x plus c. So it is up to us to now find the value of c. Now, to find the value of c, what we do is you can take any of the pairs. In this case, I'm going to take 1, 3. So with 1, 3, it simply means my x is 1 and then my y is what? 3. So substituting, we have our y, which is 3, equals 2 into bracket our x, which we have said to be what? 1, then plus c. We have 3 being equal to 2 times 1, which gives us a 2, then plus c. Making c the subject, we have 3 minus 2, which is equal to c. Evaluating further, we have our c being equal to what? 1. This simply implies that our y is mapped to what? 2x then plus 1. And that becomes the function or the rule for this function, which is b. We have 10 more questions to solve. And as usual, I advise you take a break, walk around to release a little bit of stress, then you come so that we continue the last set of questions. So if you were able to rest, I do hope it is worth it. Just have beyond numbers where we learn math the easy way. We are solving questions on patterns and relations. I've done so many tutorials on this on the homepage. You can go and then check it out. Then come and then solve these questions we have here. If this is your first time on this channel and you do think it will be of help, you can choose to subscribe if you so do wish, so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified as well. If there's also any issue of concern, you can also let me know in the comment section. Without much ado, let's quickly look at the last set of questions. Question number 41. 41 says we have 4x squared y all over 2xy squared. I hope by now, with all that we've done, you'll be able to do this very, very fast. So we work first of all on the coefficients. So we have these taking out these as well. Then this x reducing this by 1. Then this y also reducing this by 1. So with that, what do we have left? For this numerator, we have 2. Then for the x, we have x to the power 1 because it is 2 minus 1. All over 2x, then we have a y to the power 2 minus 1, which gives us 1. In essence, we have what? 2x over y. Let's proceed to question number 42. Now, 42 says we have to evaluate a minus b, then into bracket a plus b, when a equals 10, and then our b is equal to what? 3. So we do our substitution. We know our a is equal to 10. So we have 10 minus 3 in one bracket. Then in the other bracket, we have 10 plus 3. 10 minus 3 gives us a 7. 10 times 10 plus 3, which also gives us a 13. So with that, if we have to multiply, we have 7 times 13, which then gives us a 91. Question number 43. We have to factorize fully x squared minus 16. So this question here is actually testing your understanding on difference of two squares. So instead of 16, we can rewrite it as x minus 4 squared. And this becomes difference of two squares. And we know difference of two squares is expressed as x minus 4, then x plus what? 4. So that is our E. Question number 44. 44 says, if f of x, so our f of x is x squared minus x, then what is f of negative 2? F of negative 2 here simply means anywhere we see our x, let's put negative 2 there. We have negative 2 all squared, that is in place of x. Then minus, also in place of this x, we have negative 2. Negative 2 all squared simply means negative 2 times negative 2. The negative times negative gives us positive. So we have positive 4, then minus, and then negative here also gives us a positive. So we have what? 2. Which then gives us what? 4 plus 2, which is a 6. So that is C. Question number 45. We are to expand. It says we are to expand x plus y in one bracket. Then in the other bracket, we have x squared minus xy plus y squared. So what we do is the first term multiplies this whole bracket. The second term also does same. By so doing, we have our x into bracket x squared minus xy plus y squared. Then we have a positive y into bracket x squared minus xy plus y squared. So opening our bracket, we have x multiplying x squared, x multiplying negative xy, then x also multiplying y squared. Doing that, we have x cubed plus x squared y, then plus x y squared. Take note, the second term is supposed to be negative. So let's take that again. X times x gives us x cubed. Then x times negative xy gives us a negative x squared y. Then x times y squared giving us an x y squared. For this other hand, we have a positive, we have x squared y. Then y times negative xy gives us a negative x y squared. Then y times this as well gives us what? A y to the power 3. So we have, looking at it, we can simply cancel out some of the things that are same but then with opposite polarity. What do I mean by that? We have negative x squared y, and then there's a positive x squared y over here. So they cancel out each other. For the same reason, we have xy squared, then negative xy squared. So they also take out each other. What do we have left? We have our x cubed, that is from here. And then we also have our y cubed as well. That for sure is what? D. Question number 46. For 46, it says x squared plus 5x and then plus 6 all over x plus 2. What we have to do here is we have to factorize the numerator. Factorizing the numerator, we know for x squared plus 5x plus 6, this is a quadratic equation or quadratic expression. And to factorize that, since the coefficient of x squared is 1, we need the factors of 6, which when added gives us 5, and that is 2 and 3. So we have x squared, so that instead of 5x, we can rewrite it as positive 3x plus 2x and then plus 6. Now factorizing in pairs, we have x and then x here, so we bring that out. So I have x into bracket. X times what gives us x squared, that is an x. And x times what gives us 3x, that is a positive 3. Then we do the same thing as well over here. So there is a 2 and then 4. What is their highest common factor? That is 2. And 2 times what gives us 2x, that is an x. 2 times what gives us 6. That is also a positive 3. So with that, you realize that you have this same set of brackets in both. So that we have an x plus 3 in one bracket. Then we also have an x plus 2 also in the other bracket. We can now substitute this numerator for x plus 3 and then x plus 2. So that we have what? X plus 3 in one bracket, and then in the other bracket, x plus 2 all over x plus 2. In which case, our x plus 2 takes out the x plus 2, and we'll be left with what? X plus 3. And that is what? C. Question number 47. In the relation y equals mx plus c, what does c represent? So this is an equation of a line. M usually represents the gradient of the line, and then the c represents the y-intercept. The y-intercept. So over here we have a, which is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is usually the value of y when x is equal to 0. So let's look at question number 48. It says we are to solve for x, where x is such that x plus 10 equals 2x minus 5. So we have x plus 10 being equal to 2x minus 5. So what do? We group like terms. Let's keep our x's on the left hand side. So you have x, then this 2x comes to the left hand side to become a negative 2x. And we say it's equal to, we have our negative 5 here. So this positive 10 also moves to the other side to become what? A negative 10. With that, we have x minus 2x giving us a negative x, and then it's equal to a negative 15. It is x we want and not negative x. Hence, we would have to divide both sides by negative 1. So that we have x being equal to what? A 15. As simple as that. And that is B. Question number 49. 49 says the sum of 3 consecutive integers is what? 33. What is the smallest integer? When we talk of consecutive, we simply mean one following the other in that order. So let's consider some integers though. So we have 3 consecutive integers. We have 2, 3, and then 4. These are our integers, and if you say they are consecutive, realize that the difference between each and then the preceding one is a 1. You see? So if we are to let our integer be what? X, then the next one is certainly going to be an x plus 1. And then the next integer after this is also going to be this one, then plus 1. Or in simple terms, it is an x plus 2. Now the sum of these 3 integers gives us 33. So that is to say that x plus 1 plus x plus 2. We have to add all these integers, we are getting a 33. So taking off the brackets, we have what we see over here. And what do? We group like terms. So grouping like terms, we have x plus x, then plus the x, then plus 1 plus 2, which will give us a 33. X plus x gives us a 3x, and then plus 1 plus 2, which gives us what? Positive 3. We are saying this is equal to 33. Making x the subject, we have 3x being equal to 3x being equal to 33, then minus 3. So with that, we have 3x being equal to 33 minus 3, which is 30. Since we want x, we are going to divide both sides by 3. So that our x then becomes what? 10. As simple as that. Finally, we are on question number 50, and that will be our last question for this session. I do hope you have learned a lot. Let's look at our question number 50. It says we have to simplify. So what are we to simplify? We have to simplify a squared minus b squared all over a minus b, then minus a squared minus b squared all over a plus b. Now take note that what we have in the numerator are just difference of two squares. So for this very first one, we have a minus b in one bracket, then a plus b also in another bracket, and all over a minus b. For the second, we have a minus b once again, then a plus b, this time around all over a plus b. If we have to simplify, you'd realize that the denominators would all cancel these ones we have here. So a minus b takes out a minus b, and a plus b also takes out a plus b. And in essence, what do we have left? We have a plus b in one bracket minus, so these are minus, into bracket a minus b. So with that, if we are to open our brackets, we have a plus b, then minus times a gives us a negative a, and negative times negative b gives us a positive b. Grouping like terms, we have a minus a plus b plus b, which in turn gives us a minus b, a gives us 0, then b plus b gives us a 2b. As simple as that. So our answer is C. So that will be it for this particular session on patterns in relation. If there's any issue of concern, you can always let me know at the comment section. If you have any set of questions in particular you want us to go through, you can also just go to my homepage, look up there, you'll get to know my Telegram contact, then send me a message and I'll get to it for you. Let's have your numbers where we learn maths the easy way. See you in our next lesson, then bye for now. Do stay safe.
That's right, you've reached the final frame. Let's celebrate this learning game. With every number, big or small, you learn to stand up straight and tall. The easy way, you found the key to solve the puzzle wild and free. So don't you ever be afraid of all the progress that you've made. Beyond numbers, yeah. Beyond numbers.